Good day, spiritual artists. This is CJ Miller. I'm the host of the Spiritual Artist Podcast and the author of The Spiritual Artist We Are Designed to Create. I learn so much at my spiritual art retreats, and I also learn how people receive information best. So I came up with this great idea that worked at my retreat recently. I would read a chapter of my book while the attendees could doodle while in a book in their journals. So I am inviting you to follow me along on this now 20 chapter journey through my book. And I'm going to do a special series where I read a chapter of my book and then kind of give you a little bit of my input on what it is Chris is really trying to say here. So this is going to be the first episode of a new series that can be found on YouTube and listen to while you doodle. Most people have confirmed that when you doodle, you're opening the portal of your listening skills to the subconscious. And so sometimes it's easier to retain or gain information during that process. So I am going to start today reading just the foreword of my book and invite you to pull out a journal, maybe some markers, some pencils, and just draw while you listen to me. So this is The Spiritual Artist We Are Designed to Create by Christopher John Miller. And I want to read to you the first section called One Agreement. Before we begin, there's only one agreement from you that I ask, that you recognize that there does exist a greater power that flows through all of the universe, including humanity itself. Secularists call it God. Scientists call it the Big Bang Theory. Atheists call it life. Don't let a name get in your way of recognizing this power. Humankind has been using language to divide itself since the first time they began to speak. But language can't fully portray what this power is. Perhaps it's because it is undefinable by words. Words create boundaries, and boundaries are the exact opposite of this power, for this power knows no boundaries. It flows through all things, material, flesh, and empty space. So I put this in the very beginning of my book because I want to ask the reader to consider that there is some power behind all things. I'm going to share a short story with you. I have a friend who is an atheist, and when he read my book, he had problems with that. He said, "I don't believe in God," and I said to him, "I'm not asking you to use that word. I'm not asking you to use that word. I'm asking you to use the word for whatever this power, this source in your mind, what word works best, but it's beyond words." So I took him outside to his front yard, and he happens to be a passionate naturalist. He loves gardening, he loves nature. And we stood out there, and at the same time, a flock of geese was flying overhead. And I pointed to that flock of geese and I said, "Look at those geese. Don't you think, look how they're going north. It's winter, they're going south. In the spring they go north. They know what they're doing. There's an intelligence behind how they think." I said, "Do you not think some intelligence, some greater power is controlling this whole wonderful planet that we live on?" And I said, "Look at those clouds, how they feed water and nutrients, and they flow overhead, and they move and they change shape, and how they hold water and change it." And he said, "You're right. You're right. I do believe that there is a greater power behind all things. I don't think it's God," he said. I don't think it's a white man with a beard sitting on some throne. But I do know that there is a power behind all these things." So as we continue on in this book club, and as you progress and listen to my ideas, I want you to acknowledge that there is something behind this. And so as you go through the day today, look around you and notice all the things that show that there is some sort of intelligence behind everything, and it is everywhere in all things. It's what operates evolution. It's what operates the cycles of nature. It's what keeps this planet spinning around and around. So this is the first of many where I talk about the book. And so stay tuned for tomorrow, where I talk about the introduction from my book and a painter's parable. Talk to you soon, and thank you for listening to the Spiritual Artist Podcast. And remember, this book is available on Amazon. Have a great day. And look and notice that there is one great power. Thanks again for listening to the Spiritual Artist Podcast. Whether you're watching this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or iHeartRadio, make sure you choose the subscribe button so that you will receive updates when new segments are released. Most importantly, be still, listen, and know that you are a spiritual artist.